Just to get started, I'd like to start with some thank yous. Definitely want to thank my family. Without my family, I couldn't do this. My kids, they're always helping me take my art everywhere, so they're not here right now, but I thank them so much. My wife, she's amazing. She's an amazing support. And more than that, she's an amazing art feedback person. She tells me what I don't want to hear, but tells me what I need to hear. And I absolutely love that. I want to thank Oric Gallery. I want to thank Gundy and Abby for having us here. Without this space, I mean, it's amazing what community comes in here and art, and it's just, this space is really special. So thank you for having this space. And you guys, thanks for being here. If you weren't here, my art would just be up on a wall and no one would be looking at it. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of that community. Start off with a little intro of myself. I began painting at Palmer High School. My first canvas I stretched in my junior year. And then shortly after that, I painted my next painting at Bemis Art Center, just down here by Colorado College. I went to college for art, and it was a difficult time. They were really focused on painting landscapes, like beautiful Monets, and I didn't want anything to do with that. We would go to this lake, and we'd always go and paint there, and I was like, can we go to an alley, please? And we did one time, and I don't think anyone enjoyed it, so we never did it again. Currently, I'm a teacher at Stratton Elementary. I don't teach art, I teach third grade, but I get to put art in my classroom, so that's kind of fun. In 2018, art kind of came back into my life, and I realized it was really important to me, that that was kind of a piece that was missing. So since then, I've kind of just been trudging along. 719 Alleys and Oddities. 719, Colorado Springs. I had thought about calling it Colorado Springs, but if you know, you know, 719, our town. Colorado Springs has always kind of been a supporting role in my art, but for this show, I wanted it to be like the leading role. I wanted it to be the lead actor. Alleys. When I was growing up in Colorado Springs, downtown, I would walk to my friend's house a couple blocks away, and then we realized really soon, if you go through an alley, it's much faster. But then I also realized there's a whole world behind here that I didn't know existed, and it was kind of fun. And I remember going downtown in Colorado Springs, there are actual businesses in alleys, like the skate park. Oddities. That actually came from my wife. We were driving around one day, and this was several years ago, and we were kind of by Bonnie Park, and I know this place very well. If you don't, it's over by Bonnie Park. And I took a picture of this. And my wife's like, what about Oddities show? And I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know if I have enough stuff. So for several years, I started taking pictures, and we were having this discussion about what's an oddity? Is this an oddity? And so I worked on it for many, many years, and now I kind of put them together, and I think they kind of fit. So like this hidden world, this unique place, an alley and an oddity. The process for this show, if you don't know Clay, he's the owner of Yobel, I think he speaks really well to the process of art. He talks really well about how it takes a long time to build a show like this. It was a year of painting, so in August last year I started painting. But the process for this show was more like 3 or 5 years in finding images. I prefer to be inspired by the moment. Like when I'm walking around downtown or going out with my family, I like to take pictures in those moments. I do seek out places to take pictures of, but I more prefer just walking around and being inspired. And then I go home and collect all my photos and put them into folders. And then for the last like 3 or 5 years, I've had an oddities folder. And so it's like, okay, now it's time. I think I have enough. And kind of just put it all together. You might ask, why paint? Because half of my art is photography. My canvas is my editing tool. This round for my show, I added people in here. And so it was kind of fun. Instead of taking one photo, I took multiple photos and took things from lots of different photos and put them together. So people walking weren't necessarily there, but I put them there. So for me, every show, I'm always trying to push myself into a new area, something new. This quote from David Bowie, to me, says it perfectly. Always go a little further into the water than you feel capable of being in. Going a little bit out of your depth, and when you don't feel your feet are quite touching the bottom, you're just about in the right place to do something exciting. David Bowie. Yeah. Um, why paint these things? A lot of people say nostalgia, but to me that's just a feeling. For me, I'm painting them because of the history, preserving the history of Colorado Springs. A lot of the things that I've painted over the years, you go back the next day and it's gone. So for me, it's preserving that history. And when they're put up on the wall, when you guys come in and talk to me and share your stories, that's really the best part because you're adding to Colorado Springs history. You're adding to my painting. You're adding to my knowledge of these things. And it's amazing to hear all the stories. Like, I got stories on all of these paintings from the opening. And the last story I got was the clown story just the other day from someone I work with. And I was like, there we go. That's the one I wanted the most. I think Frida Kahlo said it best. She said, I paint flowers so they will not die. So for me, painting these things, they will always be around and they will be important and they'll be a part of our history. One of the best compliments I got from my show from the opening was from a friend, Britta Horsfall. She said when she left my show, she said she felt a little bit brighter about our city. So when you look at these pieces, I hope you feel the importance of our city. I hope you feel how everything is just more magical than we just take it for granted. Let's see. I'll talk about a few paintings here. The Henley painting over here, which is just right around the corner. I talked to a friend that I had worked with for many, many years, and in her younger years, she was an advertise person, and she did radio and TV ads for a local company. And when she was really young, one of her first jobs was to do an ad for Henley's Keys. And it was really cool to hear her story about Henley. And she said a lot of the times they were supposed to give them a script and tell their story, but she said with Henley, he was such a good talker that she just let him talk, and then she filmed it. So that was a great story from that. Zizos. Now, all of my photos are mine, but this one is not because I was too young to get a cell phone photo of that. But the one on Bijou is really special to me. And I heard from so many people like myself that getting dropped off at Zizos for an afternoon and getting to hang out all day while your parents did errands or whatever. Zizos is a magical place. Like, you'd go in there and they would perform magic tricks for you all the time. And I still remember them doing this trick called Scotch and Soda, and I wanted it so bad. Very great place. Let's see, King Chef. I didn't know this story until the show. My mom grew up in Fountain, Colorado, and when she was young, probably in her 20s, my mom's mother-in-law would take her up to Colorado Springs, and she never even knew about King Chef. And she took her to King Chef, and she was like blown away. What is this? King Chef, this location, started in 1956 with 13 stools, and since its existence, it's had 3 color changes. The purple one being from 1996, I believe. The last ones I wanted to talk about are the dark paintings. Like I had said, when I'm most inspired is I like it when I'm not thinking about taking a photo, but the photo finds me. These 3 paintings are of such of that. Navajo Hogan, as you guys probably know, has been closed for a long time because of some fires. In fact, because I work at Stratton, we were on the playground and we could see the fire. So I was just waiting for that place to open up because it's such a landmark. And one day I was driving up North Nevada and the sign was on. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I got out and had to take a bunch of photos. Same thing with these 2 alley ones. I was not looking for a photo that day, but it found me. This one of Louis just right out leaving Oric Gallery from First Friday. This one going downtown on Tejon, I think by Kiowa Street, just going to dinner. So those are kind of just being there and like, wow, okay, that's a beautiful painting. So the bug and Star Kemp, those I definitely went and looked at and was like, okay, I know I want those. So My favorite part of an artist talk is where you guys get to share things, where you guys get to share stories or ask questions. So with that, I'll open up to any questions that you might have or any stories you might add to any of these paintings, because it's so fun to edit them and exaggerate things, right? It's like low-tech Adobe Photoshop. So, and it just adds an extra layer. Like, I mean, I could put up photos, all my photos here, and I've thought about doing a photo or a show of photos and paintings, but it's something about the painting that like is really meditative, and I can add things. And I really intently added and deleted things this time. I usually try to keep things really like there's a bolt there, there's a screw there, there's a wire there. But some things like this Henley's, at the time, they had a giant dumpster here, and then there was like some motorcycles here. I was like, so I deleted those. But like all of the dirt and stuff on the floors and everything, every little bit, those are usually right to it. And for me, it's the way I can put myself there. Like my favorite thing to paint, aside from buildings, is our skies. And that's like to me, skies. So in my high school, art teacher would always say, why don't you do abstract? I'm like, the sky to me is abstract because it doesn't look like the picture. I always go do my own thing. Yes, I mean, like I tag them in it. Some of them I have gotten to know. So some. I mean, BJ's Velvet Freeze, if you're familiar with that place, I've painted that place probably like 6 times, and they are so grateful. They are so sweet. I've had great conversations with them about their history and just the love of them, because we used to live by their Roman villa. They loved a piece that I did a while back. So yeah, sometimes, yeah. It's crazy. Like, the internet is amazing. Today I got a comment from a lady that used to make tiles at Van Briggle. I mean, like, it's just amazing. Like, she would maybe could have glazed some of those tiles. So it's really cool to hear. And the story about this, a lady that I've worked with for several years, her ex-husband's parents owned this house. And she saw a snippet from a video of me holding this painting up and was like, I know where that is. I'm like, you do? And she's like, ah. I know it. I've seen that. Yes. I walked past that name. Yes. And I was trying to get like, what is the story behind this? Because I remember. Yes. Something like that. Yes. And I guess the grandfather built that. I have no idea why. Their family is into racing cars. Racing cars? I know. I'm like, no circus? I don't know. But then the family has since taken the house over, and they keep repainting it. I love that. Like, so if it ever goes, it's there. There are some places that I want photos of that are not around anymore that I cannot find. And I've asked friends. There's a place by Steele School, Mrs. Wright, Music Drugs, that used to be around the corner, and that's like to me that's the holy grail. I really want to paint that place because I have lots of memories tied to that place. It was called Music Drugs, and I've looked and looked, so I think that would be fun. Yeah, a lady I work with, she grew up right around the corner from there. I'm like, you've got to look in your photos. Surely you have a photo somewhere, you know? When I was in 3rd grade, a friend of mine, we went to Steele Elementary and we ate our lunch for snack, and then for lunch we walked to Music Drugs. I know, not a good idea. Sat down at the bar and had a water, and then when we came back, our principal was waiting for us. So, yes.
That Ripple pottery, are those inlaid tiles, or did you just did an amazing job on the differentiation between the paint and the tile?
Yeah, those are all tiles there. It's in staring at these things for like months. It's like, wow, I didn't realize all this detail in here. And this was actually, brick is really hard to paint, but I had so much fun with it. Like, it was really meditative and calming. I mean, even just like all of this right here was so much fun. So much fun. No, thank you for coming, guys. Thank you.